Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create costumes in Scratch. Now there's a few different ways of doing this. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do it vector and bitmap. So if this says convert to bitmap in the costumes editor, that means you're in vector mode, because this button, if you were to click it, it would switch it to bitmap mode. Now if it said convert to vector, that would mean it's in bitmap mode at the moment. So first, I'm going to show you how to create pixel art with bitmap mode. So what you would do is you zoom in a lot, and then click convert to bitmap. Now another way you can test it is if these tools look like they're made of pixel art as well. Now you can switch to the paintbrush and select whatever color you want, let's say green. Then set down the size to 1, or however many pixels you want to paint at a time. Now you can make pixel art. I'm just going to show you a time lapse of me making pixel art. And there we go, I made a sword. Now, you don't have to create this exactly how I did. You can create anything you want. And a few other tools that I used was this line tool that lets you create lines. So you can get these perfect straight lines. And if you hold down the shift key, your lines, I think, might be extra perfect. I don't think. Never mind, I don't think so. But basically, you can just make anything out of pixels. Now, I didn't use this, but there's this circle tool. If you hold down the shift key, it'll be a perfect circle. If you hold down the alt key, it'll make it from the middle of where you were clicking. And basically, it'll create a pixel art circle. Now, it may look like a vector circle, but the second you click off of it, it turns into a pixel art circle. Another tool is this one, which can select things. It selects pixels based on what you're holding over. This is the eraser. It erases pixels. This is then the square, which makes a square. I didn't use this either. It's the fill tool. It fills all of the connected colors nearby. So like this is all one color and it's all connected. So it'll fill up that whole thing. But since this is connected to no other colors, it only fills up itself. Now there's also this where you can type in text. Usually it's way too big though. But you can scale it down. But if you want it to be pixel art looking, you have to go to pixel. And you can just, sometimes it comes out like that. So I don't really recommend doing it at such a low size. It doesn't really look that good, so I don't really suggest doing that. I suggest just setting the size really low. And then another thing is that you might see that this is really small. Now if you just make its size at 1 more 0, that's usually what I like to do, and then it's pretty big. And then you can't go on infinitely, like this is as high as you can go. How high you can go is dependent on how big your object is. So if your object's really big, then it won't be able to go this, like, a really high amount. But if it's a really small thing, like pixel art is, you can usually get it pretty high. Now I'm going to show you how to do something in vector. So in vector, I feel like I don't really like using this. I usually just try to use this, like these squares and circles, and lines. To make things, and then I can edit the shape later with this tool. Now this tool is really, really helpful. It's the reshape tool. All these other tools are basically the same. It's just this one's a little bit different. It just fills a shape instead of connected colors, and the eraser is the same. But one tip is that it'll only erase anything that you're selecting. So if you select this, you can't erase that because you're not selecting it. But anyway, you can use this, so you can click on the edge to create a point. Now it'll automatically be curved point where you can like pull out how it's going to be curved. But if you wanted to, you could make it pointed so that it would actually be like a sharp point instead of being a nice curve. Now if you wanted to move these two things separately, all you have to do is hold down Alt, and then you can turn them separately. Then it kind of stays separate forever. But doing these separately can kind of make it look pointed like this. So, yeah, don't do it like that if you don't want to. And let me show you an example of something that I've made with this before. This was from a pretty long time ago, but I made this. But I made this Sonic the Hedgehog. I also made other Sonic the Hedgehogs and stuff. I made a lot of things. I made a worm. I didn't make this, I just like found that on the internet because I wanted to make a Deltarune kind of game. I also have this. I'm not as proud of that one. I feel like that one looks a little too cartoony for me. I made this. It's a Motobug. So yeah, you can make a lot of things using Scratch. And these are just two ways you can do it. If there's any other ways you can think of it, write it in the comments. And I'll see you next time.